Good evening. This is a lovely beer from the Silverstone Brewery. It's called Ignition. It's only 3.4, so very light, enjoyable. Session beer, I suppose they call it. I have no idea, but it's very light and very fresh, bright, citrusy, powdery. Excellently hoppy. Everything Silverstone does has got an amazing hoppy sharpness to it. Some people might say that's an acquired taste, but I am very acquired. But a great beer, enjoyable. It's about time we had some booze on the boozer cruise, isn't it? And I do want to talk to you about booze, actually. I want to talk to you about pubs, my favourite subject. The thing about pubs is that it's very difficult to put a fine point on exactly why we love pubs. Now, everybody's going to say, you just love beer, you just love getting drunk. Yes and no. Because something that piqued my curiosity a few years ago was that in the 1940s, the Mass Observation Project sent a group of people to drink in pubs in the north of England with the intent of exploring the real meaning behind what pubs were for in the community, how people used them, how people fitted them into their lives, and what role they actually fulfilled. Was it just about getting drunk? And the answer was no. The Mass Observation conclusion was that alcohol was just a small part of the attraction to the pubs. It really was a social experience. It was about a shared social experience. It was about relaxing. There was an element of gang hut as well, you know, where you go to hide from all the troubles of everywhere else. You go to a place where everybody knows your name. And this was actually put down in a scientific document, an analysis of observation, which has gone on to modify psychological approaches to the whole analysis of the drinking problem. Instead of focusing on a substance addiction, people have begun analysing it from the perspective of social needs, of the needs of people to have friends, to have an opportunity to relieve pressure. But I'd been thinking about the meaning of pubs for some time. The principal reason was the Golden Rule in Ambleside, which is without doubt my favourite pub in the world. There's something about it. There's something about its location, its attitudes, the building itself. It's very difficult to put your finger on why it's so brilliant. So when I decided to write a book about the Golden Rule, I was faced with that problem. How do you write down what makes it so great? Now, you can't write down the flavour of beer. No, you can't write down really the sensation of being in one of the oldest buildings in Cumbria. No. What can you do? Well, you can share what it's sort of like. You can share moments that express, and that's why the rule is cool. And so that's what I did with the rule book. It was actually meant to be a writing exercise for a completely different project, which has not come to fruition, but one day I hope it will. But this little book basically became something like 60 short chapters of moments from history which affected the rule or included the rule or included Ambleside or the people in it. And what I actually did was I took the regulars that you would meet in the rule today, me included, haha, and I applied them to all these moments from 1723 up until last night to give you a sensation of if you had been in the rule when these things went down, this is the kind of reaction you would have been involved with. And to say it worked is an understatement. It's actually one of my best-selling books. I've written 17 books, mainly on rock and roll history. That's kind of my speciality. But the rule book continues to sell, and actually at a time like this, I think it's a really cool social document. I think it's really important to be able to say, why do we miss the pub? Why do we miss pub people? Why do we miss the society and culture of pubs? It's not in here in precise words, but it's in here in feeling. And it makes a great Christmas present.